Hello, Warrior TV. Steve Knapp, the Mindset Warrior here. Welcome to episode 4 of the Power Hour of Mindfulness. I've got a very special show tonight. I'm going to be joined by some amazing fellow warriors. I've got the mental health warrior himself. I've got the warrior queen, and I've got the human GPS. Absolutely can't wait for this. I'm going to run a quick countdown, and then I'll be bringing them all on. See you soon. Hello, everybody. How are my fellow warrior guys?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yes. And hang on. Here we go. And another warrior. There we go. Yay. It's all a special big hello to the lovely Lisa, who's already watching us. Hope you're having an awesome day, Lisa. So I've got to say, guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight for a bit of a birthday celebration for me. I can't think of a more special way to get to finish off my birthday evening with you guys and having a bit of a fun chat around a bit of mindfulness and a bit of enjoyment. Good morning, Peter. Thanks for watching, mate.
We've all got a happy birthday to you, Steve.
Yeah, happy birthday.
How good's this? This is just like, if you want to pump yourself up on your day, run a show where everyone just celebrates you. You can't go wrong. Now,
oh my God.
I've got a theory that I'd love to know. I want to know what you guys think. This is my second birthday in a row in lockdown, and because I haven't been able to celebrate really or have a beer with me mates, does that mean I don't have to count them, and instead of being 44 today, I can still be 42? I'd love to know what everyone's thoughts are there.
Why not? Why not?
Yes.
Shall we go ladies first? Because I've got my views.
Yeah, I kind of think you can't, Steve.
I kind of think you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because then when you get out of lockdown, you can have a big party and just do like the last 2 birthdays and then that birthday all together. If you get like 3 birthdays in one.
I like your thinking there, Karen.
Yeah.
It's an excuse.
What do you reckon,
Adam? I just think you should just save it because it's just a normal day anyway. His birthdays. I believe I'm too old for birthdays anyway, but Kerry won't accept that, and it'll just give you a reason to drink more.
Well, I don't really need a reason, but that's all right. And since you like to have jabs at my age, I'm sure you thought it was my 86th birthday anyway, so I'm trying to hold on to as many as I can.
I'm staying quiet.
I have a question.
Go on, Melissa.
I was going to say, I have a question for you then, Steve. What is your ideal way of celebrating your birthday?
Oh, geez, the ideal way. I think one thing I never managed to do is to not work on my birthday. So I think an ideal day would definitely revolve around not going to work. And a few people know, but a lot don't. But I actually share my birthday with my wife, which I quite enjoy. She isn't a massive fan of the idea, thinks I'm a birthday thief that has stolen all the goodness out of her special day. But ideally, I wouldn't have to get up and go to work. I'd take her out for breakfast, offload the kids to school and wherever they're going, and just have a nice, relaxing, peaceful day of not doing much at all and just relaxing and unwinding. That's my ideal birthday that tends to only happen when it rolls around on a Sunday, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I would
I think that's my ideal birthday as well.
Being alive, is a birthday for me, really. Like, every day is my birthday. I'm surrounded by the most amazing people who make every single day a privilege for me. So I really can't complain. If I'm whinging about something, I'm just being a sook because, every day is my birthday and I'm just privileged and extremely lucky to be surrounded by so many awesome people. Like I am right here, right now.
Have you got our card yet?
Not yet. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah,
Australia
guys.
posts some story for late deliveries.
Yeah, we sent him a card from the Mental Health Warriors.
Yeah, because we knew he'd been
looking
feeling a
forward
bit down and a bit rubbish. We thought we'd cheer him up. We sent him a birthday card from the Mental Health Warriors, which hasn't arrived yet.
No.
Can't help the post.
That's all right. It's going to be awesome when it is, and I'll make sure I have it on display for next week's show, without a doubt.
Better late than never.
It's always never late. It'll just be exactly when it was supposed to arrive. You need to. You should have a card for like every day for a week before and after, so you have a really proper celebration rather than a day. It should be birthday week, birthday fortnight, birthday month.
Yeah. Birthday month, actually.
Yeah, well, in our house, we do it birthday week, so we like do it from the Sunday to the Sunday after. So you get a whole week of a little bit of special treatment that week.
Not with me, though.
I like that.
That's nice.
Oh, not poor Adam. No, he
Does.
gets birthday hour.
I'm taking him on holiday for his birthday next year.
Well, he better behave or that'll get canned.
I'm going to fill the caravan full of balloons.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I don't like balloons.
Tough.
Same.
You know what I'd love to know, guys? Everyone's thoughts on how important it is to celebrate things. And I don't mean like not just birthdays, but little wins along the way, anything good that happens. So often we seem to be conditioned to talk ourselves down or not enjoy the moment so much if it's anything to do with personal success. Whereas I'm the polar opposite. I think if you can't celebrate and champion the hell out of yourself, no one else really will either. So you've got to, every now and then, you've got to put yourself on a pedestal and allow yourself to receive a bit of love and encouragement. So I'd love to know, what you reckon, Warrior Queen?
I think I'm same as you. We've got to celebrate everything. So last week, Tegan came home with a certificate from school, the first one of the school year. And obviously they get a little treat every time they get a certificate. But obviously I make sure to tell her that I'm proud of you, well done, and to make a bit of a fuss over it because that's a little achievement for her. So I think it should be the same for adults. Celebrate any little thing. So like a little cheeky bet and you win it, even if it's just a tenner, you're a tenner up. So yeah, I'm like you.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Melissa?
Yeah, totally agree. I think the smallest thing, even the fact of you, what's an example? Like the other day I decided to make a decision and, it might be something, a really small decision, but it made me feel really good. So I was like, yeah, I got to celebrate that because it's something that is worthwhile to me and makes me feel really good. So it's just little small things. I think you do, like you say, it's really important to celebrate because you don't celebrate yourself and you don't acknowledge yourself for doing things that other people don't know about or they might not recognize. So I think it is really important and it helps you with your own self-esteem, your own confidence and your own place.
Totally. And building up our own self-esteem is something that doesn't happen often enough either for mine. We're easy to knock ourselves down, but so reluctant to pump ourselves up.
Yeah, totally.
What do you think?
What was that? Me?
No, Kerry, you can go last.
Right. Sorry. So I think there was two of you speaking there for a moment, and it all got jumbled, and I didn't hear that. No, I am absolutely for celebrating absolutely everything, even the tiniest of things, or what might appear to be the tiniest of things, because as you've already said, it's important to give yourself that boost. It's important to keep that energy, that vibration at as high a level as you possibly can. It's important to recognize every single achievement that you make, and all the while we're keeping that energy high, that vibration high. We're going to be attracting more of that really great positivity back as well, so we can continue celebrating. And every day is worth celebrating, particularly when you wake up in the morning and you're essentially a birthday. You've got the opportunity to do some more wonderful, fantastic things and be a bit of a better person than you were the day before. So absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Every day is a new opportunity, isn't it, to just totally change the landscape and attack the day just to be that 1% better than the day before. You can make so much change in yourself over the course of a year in between birthdays. It's a massive opportunity if you embrace it in the right way and look at each day for what it brings, not as a downside to anything. And what do you reckon, Mr. Mental Health Warrior, our leader? This will be monumental.
Leader? I'm not a leader. Well, obviously, like just yesterday, I actually passed my first unit of the self-harm and suicide prevention course. So, obviously, I celebrated with just a smile. That's all. But obviously, I've got 3 more units to go. But who knows what will happen? But I'm more celebrate with what the kids and what Kerry achieve over my own, which, it's one of them.
Yeah, I must agree a lot with that as well. For everyone that's been involved in any of my programs or things I do, I thrive on celebrating the hell out of everyone around me. It's my mission in life, and I will just lift people as high as I can get them up into the sky so that they cannot see any ounce of doubt or fear left behind. I will carry them with me up to a place where they just would have no understanding of how magical they are, because there's so much awesomeness inside all of us. And if you get the opportunity to raise someone up, you just grab it with both hands and run with it. It's something I'm never going to stop doing because it lights me up. Like, I could feel it then, just starting to talk about it, that energy coming out and the vibration lifting and the speeder in the voice and the it's huge. It's massive. Yeah. Like, celebrate the hell out of everybody, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah. Definitely. As Lisa said, it is important to hold as much value in yourself as you would in others. So pump up your own tyres. I like that.
Yeah.
And as well as pumping up your own tyres, if you can help anybody else feel better about themselves, help them as well.
I think so too. Yeah, if you go to the servo and someone's pumping up their tyres, jump out and give them a hand. Pump it up for them. But especially if they look like they're struggling a bit. Absolutely. I think that you can bring that into anything. It doesn't take much at all just to roll out into the world in the want to make something a bit better and easier for someone else. It's the most simple thing you can possibly do. It takes no effort really to just give someone a hand.
Yeah, and obviously, if you put good energy out into the universe, it comes back.
Yeah, totally.
It does.
Oh,
totally.
It's going to come back a lot more as well.
And it's even those small interactions, that you have with strangers. You might be walking down the street and you might smile to them. And they might be the first smile that they see all day, or the only smile they get all day from a total stranger, and that will lift them up to another level. So you don't know just how much people interact. That small bit of interaction can help lift people.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it makes you feel good too. I always feel good doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Caroline Bennis.
I feel bloody
I
amazing
love that
talking
mindset,
about it.
Maria.
Oh, that is a beautiful thing to say, and I appreciate it so much and send so much love right back. These conversations, I tell you, they light up my world, and it doesn't happen anywhere near often enough. I'm used to being able to have one-on-one opportunities to sort of kick ideas around like this, but not in a group scenario and with feedback coming from the outside. It's just a magnificent discussion that definitely should be had a lot more often than what it is.
Yeah, we should do this more often.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, what else? I had a couple of other things in my head that I wanted to ask you guys that have been bouncing around all day.
Should we review women?
No, never. Remember, this is a place of love. Except when Adam annoys me, and then it's a place of pain. But apart from that, it's a place of love, always.
One on one replacement.
Now,
We've already
right.
got a we've already got our mini mental health warrior that's ready to take the reins at any point, Adam.
With the mind he's got.
I love that.
Kerry, with the mind Lucas has got.
And that's the thing,
are you sure?
Yeah, he kick us all into touch.
I reckon that it's one of those things where if you can pass this stuff down to your kids and get them following in your own path, then you're just doubling up on all the amount of love and abundance that you can put out there. It's massive. And I think I'd love to know that from you guys too, is how important it is, the message and the way that we're acting in front of our kids, that they're going to pick up on that level of what we're bringing as well. And it's easy for them to either see that we're down, we're not interacting with people properly, we are aggressive, abusive, or they can see that love and joy and compassion and that willingness to help. And surely whatever way you go is going to have a long-lasting, bearing impact on them as they mature and grow into adults themselves.
Yeah.
I think I'll go to the lovely Kerry Bird on this one. I'm going to start in the bottom corner.
Well, I don't have children of the human kind. I only have children of the four-legged, noisy, waggy-tail, barking kind. However, I have in years gone by actually been an assistant scout leader, and I've worked with young people of varying ages for quite a few years back in my much distant youth. But it's, I think, first and foremost, it's important to realise that, you know, us as human beings, we're here to experience all kinds of different emotions. So it is okay for younger children, young people to witness some of those emotions. The really kind of negative, bad ones, like, you know, it's not nice to see parents arguing and fighting. It's not nice to see other adults arguing and fighting between themselves. So I think on the one hand, whilst it is something that sadly happens in the world, you know, it's, and we're not going to be able to shield them from it forever. I think to let them see as little as that as possible is very, very important. But yeah, absolutely. Teach them all the good things, show them all the good things, encourage them. It's so important for them to know who they truly are, you know, rather than to be taught a particular, like, should we say, routine. There's, I mean, I don't know what it's like in schools these days. I know we're not necessarily talking about schools, but certainly when I was at school, it was a case of you were expected to go to school, learn, do your homework, study, revise and get great grades in your exams. And I mean, unless you're going on to university to study something specifically, quite honestly, you see a lot of troubled young people because of the amount of pressure that's put on them. And the pressure's there because they believe that they've got to get these good grades in order to be successful in life. Well, what does success look like to the individual? Is it about making loads of money and working their way up the ladder in a large corporation? Or is it having a life that they actually love and being with the people that they want to be with? And doing the things that they love to do, and being able to work in an area that they are very passionate about. You know, so it's so many positive things to teach our young children, our young people.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's an awesome insight. Not especially around the pressures of school, not just being directed in one way and feeling that if you're not hitting those targets of like a mainstream society viewpoint that you're not a success. It's irrelevant how you go about things if it's not what's aligned to what's going to make you happy. I think it's Gary Vee that always says you're much better off being the pizza delivery driver on $5 an hour if that's what you really enjoy and you love doing than being the big earning executive and hating life and wanting to give up on it all. Do what lights you up and stokes that passion, because it's going to be much more beneficial and enjoyable than
Definitely.
just a general level of success that people put on you as a label.
There's a great book that I read a little while ago, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do a plug about it, but I'm going to anyway. It's written by Robin Sharma, and it's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yeah.
You've read it?
I like that one.
I have. Beautiful book. I loved it. Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Kerry, you
I
going
have
shopping?
it and haven't started it.
I'm going shopping. I'm all right.
What was that, Adam?
Kerry's going shopping. No, I'm glad you, Kerry. I'm glad you mentioned about the pressures at school. I just had to double check my notes because obviously the course I'm doing, that's actually one of the common reasons why kids of today turn to self-harm and suicide, because of the pressures at school. So yeah, this is why we're here, to try and stop that.
That's not the question that Steve was asking, though, was it? Anyway, Adam, shut up. It's Steve's show.
It doesn't really matter now. I forget questions as quick as I ask them. We can just roll into anything we like. That's how my show goes.
So just jump off them.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my fault, wasn't it?
Now I'm
'Cause
gonna-
I took us on a slightly different angle there, slightly different path.
Yeah, I think the
I
question
love
was something about obviously kids, weren't it?
Yeah.
How we can guide them as little humans growing in the world, and what they pick up from what we're projecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at Luke's and Tegan. Kerry's nodding there. Yeah.
Is that because they like their dad and support rubbish football teams?
Oh, for God's sake.
I see where you're coming from. The guidance there. And mate, I'm with you. I've got it. I understand.
No, I believe Kerry never gave birth to 2 kids. She gave birth to 2 clones.
Clones.
They are. Tegan's like me and Lucas is like his dad.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, well. No, well, speaking of obviously kids and that, Lucas and Tegan are going to be coming onto Warrior TV to interview me and Adam.
Next week.
at the end of not October, September, and then
Next
we'll
week.
get you on, and then we'll get them onto your show, Steve, and they can interview you.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, bear in mind you're going to have to behave. He is going to be your future boss.
Yeah, that's all right.
No, it's not.
I'll bring a couple of my kids on too. They're already my present day bosses.
Yeah, get the next generation onto Warrior TV.
I reckon that'd be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'd love, now, once we got on the school topic there, I'd love to know from you guys what you think could possibly be removed from the school curriculum and what could be added.
Here we go. Where do I start?
We might just want to mute Adam on this one.
No, let him go first.
Where do I start? Remove from the school curriculum. Where do I start? I could say what should be put onto it.
That wasn't the
if that's
question, though,
okay.
was it?
Yeah, it was. That was. I said what should be removed and what should be added.
Okay, what should be added? Definitely. It actually is mental health, which it should be removed from PHSE lessons and added as its own standing individual topic and made mandatory to learn about. That's what I believe should happen. Teach about mental health and teach about things like the mindset and stuff like that. Because they're not teaching that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Totally.
What about you, Melissa?
Well, I can't really comment. I don't have kids and I don't know what the curriculum is, so I can't really comment on that. Sorry, Steve.
I can tell you it's almost exactly the same as when you went to school, and it's almost exactly the same as the 100 years before you went to school, and it has not evolved since 1820 for the most part.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of with Adam. I think they should bring in, well, it would be nice if they brought in, and I know some school, I don't know, maybe some schools do this, I don't know, but, if they brought in more of the, the humanitarian side of stuff with the mental health, with your awareness of how you are with others and how you communicate with others and how you are behaving and how that affects your experiences, yeah, and it is that way of being of communicating with others, knowing yourself, connecting with yourself, and how that affects others. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they teach in schools these days. Sorry, I'm not very.
That's all right.
Good with that.
All outdated.
What about you, Kerry?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go, Melissa. Sorry, cut you off.
I was just going to say, like meditation and calming stuff is really good for people's stress. So it'd be really good for the schools, especially with the older kids, even little kids, to bring in that awareness of meditating or being calm and games to play that lower their stress.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be a great thing to start much younger. Never learned anything like that when I was at school.
No. Yeah. Because little kids are like sponges, aren't they?
Oh, they are, totally.
Yeah.
Which Kerry wants to go first on this? Oh, okay, go for it.
Definitely mental health, looking after yourself and self-care techniques, but also life skills. So things like learning how to budget, learning how to pay a bill or something like that, proper life skills that they're going to need to be able to go into the world and be adults. Because when I became an adult, I know me and Adam first moved into our own house, it was like, well, how the hell do I pay that bill? Do I ring them up? Do I go online? I had to ring them up and I'm like, well, yeah, I need to pay this bill. How do I do it? They must have thought, how stupid is this one? But when you're 19 years old, it's like, how the hell do you pay a bill? I've never done it before.
Yeah, it's madness.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much I'm going to learn when I grow up. I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm going to learn heaps that day.
Yeah, and obviously
Might be when I'm
meal planning as well. Because obviously, you know, when me and Adam first obviously got our own house and we went shopping for the first time, we were just chucking random stuff in that we wanted, and we looked at it at the end. And we were like, "What are we going to eat for the next week?"
Yeah, it's never the healthy options, is it, when you're like that either?
No.
I think we ended up having takeaways for the next 3 nights. 19-year-olds having their own house, not a good idea.
That's funny.
And what about you, Kerry?
Well, it's interesting actually. Listening to you guys, I would agree with every single one of you that there are lots of things missing and have been missing since the very start of education, really, that are really, really essential to living an easy life. And life should be easy, in my opinion. With regards to the mindset, the mental health, again, every child is expected to go along and take part in a PE lesson, for example. But they're not taught how to take care of their own mental health. They're taught how to look after their physical health, but not the mental health. What they're also not taught is the fact that the two are directly linked. That essentially you're not really going to successfully have one without the other. It's all the mental health thing and the mindset and how to deal with stress and everything else, all anxiety, all those kinds of things should be integrated into every single lesson by every single teacher. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a separate area that's taught. It should be as a matter of course, regardless. So in that sense, what you're effectively looking at is needing to change the way of teacher training.
Yes.
Steve, you're NLP trained exactly the same as me. And I don't know about you, but when I attended my training course for neuro-linguistic programming, one of the first responses from most of us was, why on earth is this not taught in schools?
Yeah.
Well, you have
it really is about the language that we're using, not just when we're speaking to other people, but the things that we say to ourselves. For example, we do it all the time, but the thing is, if you really believe what you're saying to yourself, like, oh, you stupid idiot, for forgetting to put washing up liquid in or washing powder in the washing machine, or anything like that, walking out the house without your car keys.
She's guilty.
Yeah, but would you actually turn round to your best friend and call them a stupid idiot for doing the same thing? It's maybe that's not a great example, but you get my drift.
I totally agree with you, Kerry, because you have to question. Look at how many teacher training days these teachers have. So you have to question, what exactly are they training to do?
Well, there are always going to be things that they have to be updated on, whether it's like curriculum changes, whether it's to do with child protection, anything like that. What do they call it here? It's not child protection, is it? It's something else. But it's that's it. Thank you. So there are going to be, there might even be changes to the timetable. In which case, they're going to need to know these things. There are things that are going to need to be discussed, so they have those days. So, but what I'm saying is that with regards to how and what the young people are taught when they're in school, it essentially is a case of changing the way that teacher training is done right from the very beginning, right from the very start.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk from experience here.
Oh.
I'm not going off topic here, but in our kid's last school, Lucas was being bullied by the teachers because of him being autistic, and obviously we went straight to the top to the Aldridge Foundation because that's what the school's run by, and we put in a complaint, and it turned out a week later, teachers kept disappearing from school, and we're like, what's going on here? It turned out they were actually going to London to be educated on autism. So it just shows that's what it has to take.
Yeah. And I really agree with Kerry there on it should be encompassing through all classes and all teachers, because when I was saying like subjects to drop off and ones to add, in a lot of cases you don't actually have to drop off a subject, you just need to adjust it. Like there's so much. I finished school 25 years ago, 26 years ago, and in all those years of maths, I'm pretty sure I've never used Pythagoras theorem once. I haven't really delved too much into algebra, not a lot of geometry, apart from a little bit in my trade life. But like Kerry said, you can switch part of that maths to learning how money works, how you need to fund yourself for retirement, what percentage of your income you need to save to get this, how it works to get a home loan, what it's going to take, what it means to have a 15% deposit. Like you're still doing maths, but you're doing real world maths that's actually going to give you something moving forward.
Yeah.
And the same with English. Turn your English lessons into how we verbalize things and how important our tonality is in our language and our words and what we say to ourselves and others. And you can bring bullying into that as well. With a lot of bullying is just people projecting what they see in themselves. There's so much you can do to just make little modern day advancements in all of these topics without reinventing the wheel. It's just going back to that education, and it's somewhere right at the very top, obviously, that doesn't say these things are important to our kids, whereas every parent I know and speak to thinks these things are paramount for our kids. So
Yeah.
I just don't know how we go to shake it all up to get the actual system to want to understand it from a parent's point of view.
Yeah. And in those, I don't know if you did it, but it was called home economics or something like that. And the girls were taught how to sew. And it's like, yeah, all right, that's a skill, but then there's more important skills out there. So like meal planning or cooking, cleaning, things like that. You know, the girls weren't able to go out with the boys and learn how to fix a car engine. Well, girls are going to need to know that. The boys were allowed to go out and play with an engine, change a tyre. Well, how come the girls weren't allowed to go out and do that? Because women, that is a skill that women do need to know instead of relying on the husbands.
Totally.
You know, so that's another thing that can be adapted.
Everything just froze on me for a minute there. I didn't hear anything.
I froze. Am I back or what?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you as well. I think it is about introducing those practical life skills, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you've just said, Kerry, you know, things like changing a tyre, for example. I mean, not necessarily knowing exactly how to fix an engine, but, you know, at least knowing where the battery is and where you can how to check the oil, things like that. I mean, it's, although having said that, those I think are generally, although they were when I learned to drive, they're generally part of driving lessons anyway. But definitely the life skills. It's again, as you said, home economics. That was all about needlework and cookery.
Yeah, cooking.
I haven't had enough coffee this morning. But it's not. It wasn't until certainly when I was at school. It wasn't until much later years at secondary school where you know the guys, if they wanted to learn a bit of needlework, and a bit of anything to do with home economics, which was essentially just needlework and cooking. They could take those classes. I think schools are very different now when it comes to young people being able to choose.
And that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's just a common sense approach.
Yeah, as I say, I think schools today are very much different in that when it comes to the young people actually choosing and deciding what subjects they want to take at a GCSE level, for example. There are the opportunities are far greater. An example is when I was at school, there were computer studies. That was an option that could be taken. There was also woodwork and metalwork that could be taken. However, because we're back in the 1980s, the school only had 10 computers, and priority was given to the guys. And it was the same with metalwork and woodwork. Priority was given to the guys. If there were spaces left after the guys had taken up theirs, then they would open it up to the girls. But essentially, the girls were expected to not do anything like they were expected to do home economics. They were expected to do typing, because we were still in a very old thinking society back then. It was just turning. But yeah, all these life skills, these essential practical things that we all need to know.
And one of those skills too that is really essential too is how to have healthy boundaries with life and with people, because they don't really broach. I mean, that's not a topic that's really broached effectively, I don't think, in some areas. So,
no, I totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
Maybe the mental health warriors need to get into these schools. Do you not think?
Well, I think that's the problem. It's beyond the schools, isn't it? It's way beyond the schools. It's the people who set the whole system up, and because every school basically is on the same page. They all just trot out the exact same curriculum. So it's somehow getting above, breaking that ceiling, whoever sets the whole basic curriculum, and shaking them up a bit. We've got to go higher than the schools themselves.
I agree. Yeah.
Absolutely. I kind of liken going to school, leaving school, and going on to, and that includes college and university, and then going on to into working as an adult. I liken it to having driving lessons. Essentially, when you're learning to drive, you're learning to pass a driving test. It's not until you actually have passed your driving test that you then get to go out in the car on your own and really properly learn to drive. And it's very much the same with the way the whole school system is set up. You're taught to keep to a specific route. You're taught to do what will be expected of you as an adult. Yeah, you're taught that you get to school at a certain time and you wear a uniform, and you're allowed certain breaks at certain times. Yeah, and you have your lunch at a specific time, and then you go back in and then you carry on doing your schoolwork for a bit, have a break, and then more schoolwork, and then you're allowed to go home at a certain time. But you're still going to have work to do when you get home, and that work has to be done because they'll expect it to be handed in the following day. When you come away from that, and then you go out, and you find a job, essentially, you've got a similar routine going on. You have to dress a certain way. You have to be at the your work location for a certain time. You're allowed however many breaks throughout the day. You're allowed to have your lunch at a specific time. You carry on working through the afternoon, and then you're allowed to go home at a certain time, and you are paid for your time. But the big thing there is that because someone else is employing you, they decide how much your time is worth.
Yeah.
Whereas those of us who work for ourselves realise and know how much our time is worth. And if we want to give it away for free occasionally, we're quite happy to do that. But we are taking control of our lives, our businesses. And that's the big thing for me, is the fact that there's so many people out there don't realise that they have that choice, they have that capability.
Yeah.
And that's
It's not
the biggest things for me, I believe, should be taught in schools. That each of us has that power, has those abilities. And if we are in control, then our life is how we create it.
Yeah, it's not really the employers that make the decision how much our time is worth each hour. It's obviously the governments that do that. So obviously the UK government do national minimum wage and set it at something like, is it £9 an hour or something like that now?
It is to a degree, yes, but it's still whoever's running the company, the organisation, they are responsible and in charge of deciding who gets paid what. But there is that government minimum that they can't drop below.
Yeah.
But they ultimately, you know, the directors of the company, the board of the company, that get to decide how much each individual will be paid for their time, depending on what position they hold within the company, and obviously how much money, what turnover the company is making, and what profits they're looking to achieve out of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, as I say, working for yourself, you get to decide how much you want to earn. You get to decide how much you charge your clients, you know? So you are taking complete responsibility for you and your life.
Yeah.
Yep. And obviously Adam gets
the only way to break free.
He's the boss here.
What?
Adam gets the top dollar because obviously he founded us. He's like the little boss here. Well, he thinks he is.
Here we
The
go.
CEO.
That's interesting, actually. It seriously, that's an interesting thing to say, because by saying that, Kerry, you know, absolutely no disrespect here whatsoever, but by saying that Adam deserves the top dollar, I'm not saying that he doesn't, but by saying Adam deserves the top dollar, essentially what you're doing is you are saying that you believe that your time is not worth as much as Adam's time.
I'm worth more than Adam.
No, you're not. No, you're not. We're actually worth equal.
I'm
We're
joking,
equal.
I know.
Come on, promote
Yeah,
equality.
we're all equal, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Depends on look at it, I suppose, doesn't it?
That's why we're one
Are we
big
social?
dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. There's so much, yeah. The way you described that then, Kerry, was absolutely perfect. Like everything, we are just programmed from 4 or 5 years old to follow this pattern all the way through till we retire. And you got to break the mold. You've got to decide that you're either going to be happy and content living that life, or you are going to take the bull by the horns, do what you really want to do, be an entrepreneur, run your own show, work your own hours, charge your own money, and you'll be a hell of a lot happier, even if you're not making the serious money you could do by doing another 10 years of schooling and climbing the corporate tree for years. It's just that freedom, isn't it? Freedom means a lot more than anything else.
Yeah.
See, just look at this. I completed school, no problem. I only did 1 out of 3 years in college, and so I never went to university. And now look, I'm doing this, but I don't regret it. And I don't regret what I've done with my life. I don't.
Yeah. Well, you've got to walk the path that's true to you, not what you've been taught to believe is right for everybody, because we'd be a bunch of boring robots if we all got to follow the exact same path and came out at the same spot, had the same house, same garden, same haircut. It'd be pretty bloody boring, wouldn't it?
It would.
Totally.
Just a bit.
Yeah, I thought I spotted a bit of rust on you, Steve, but oh well.
He's going to get you for that, Adam.
He's quiet now.
But to be fair, when you think about it, I mean, a lot of our education also comes from our parents, our caregivers, and that is passed on from what they've learned from their parents, and that was passed on from what they've learned from their parents. So it's kind of like a generational thing as well. So our parents, although they're potentially passing on stuff that isn't that useful for us, they don't know any better. They're passing on what they believe to be in our best interests. So this is where we, as I said right at the very beginning, it's so important. I believe it's so important to raise our young people to understand quite how unique we all are, quite how powerful we all are, and the fact that we have that right to choose to create a life that suits us, a life that we're going to love. And if that means that, we get crap grades in our exams at school, I came away with an English language O-level. That means that I can write a story, and I can spell, and I can use punctuation reasonably well. That's all I had. And that's not to say that I'm stupid. It's just that I got to the point about a year before I left school where I got totally bored. I'd had enough of it. I needed to do something different. But here I am. It's taken me much of my life to, well, I've known what I wanted to do for a long time, but it's taken me much of that time to find the right format with which to move forward. And sometimes that happens. And again, that's something else to say to them, is that what you believe that you want to do, when you leave school right now is absolutely fine. But it doesn't have to be the thing that you do for the rest of your life. You can change your mind. You can, if or when you find something else that appeals to you much more, you can change, you can switch and go in a different direction. It's not set out in stone.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Kerry, because obviously kids of today, everything they say, you have to take them serious. Have to. And just Tegan lately, she's been saying she doesn't want to go to school. And we're like, why? What's wrong? She went, oh, because it's boring. So she's already got that mindset now. So, and we just don't know what to do.
So, I mean, you've got two options, really, haven't you? I mean, again, I think it's highly important that each young individual has, that their passions, their interests are used to their advantage. So, that their energies are basically guided in the right direction. That's not to say that everything else should just go by the wayside. So I think personally, your choices here are either to find a different school that will cater for her, or to have her at home and educate her from home, but in a way that you're able to utilize and she's able to focus on those things that she finds really, really interesting. Because there's a reason why each of us are interested in the things we're interested in, and if we can develop on that, develop those skills, those talents, that knowledge, You know, we are destined to go a very long way, I believe.
I believe, yeah, because obviously Lucas, he's well, both kids are at school now, and obviously the school has been taught, oh, you have to teach the kids these topics in this particular way. But with Lucas, he's got his own mind and he flips it a little bit. And the teachers have only just started picking up on that he's actually learning likes of history, maths. But it's not the school's way, it's his way of what he's learned, because he does his own research himself. But with Tegan, like being homeschooled or whatever, I wouldn't ask me, ask Kerry here. So, yeah.
Yeah, but you say that, Adam. I mean, you know, there's very likely something that you are really, really good at, especially being a dad as well. And you'll know your daughter. You'll know what her strengths are. You'll know what her weaknesses are,
I do.
And you'll know what your own strengths and weaknesses are. And you know, you can work on those together. You know, that's. I can't stress strongly enough that, you know, I wish I had that kind of an education when I was at school, to be able to be encouraged to work, you know, to use my strengths, to be encouraged to pursue those things. And yeah, there were some areas where I wasn't so great in, and to be honest, I really wasn't that interested. And I would much rather have spent more time doing the things that I loved, than being forced to do the things that I found really, really boring. Because, you know, as has already been mentioned, I've never needed to use any kind of algebra or what was the other one? Trigonometry.
Yeah,
Pythagoras.
Yeah. None of it. All I've ever needed to know is how to add, subtract, divide, multiply, and, you know, work out percentages.
Yep. The basics. Stick to the basics and go far.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We overcomplicate so much.
Yeah.
This has been a very interesting and wonderful discussion, my fellow warriors, but we are coming to a close. We are coming to a close. So before I thank you all immensely, Adam or Kerry, do you want to give everyone a rundown on what else we have coming up on Warrior TV this week?
Ask Adam.
Okay. Nothing else today. Nothing else. But tomorrow, Kerry Burr's live. She's got Sandra. And Friday, I can't think. Something is happening Friday, but I don't know. And
I'm live Friday, innit?
Yeah, Friday. Kerry's live at 1 p.m. with Vicky, and then that night, that could be my last ever time on Warrior TV, because the game show which Kerry Burr's hosting. So yeah. So make most of it for the next 48 hours.
Yeah, we're going to be on separate screens. We're having a little bit of a how well do you know your partner show with another couple from America.
Yeah, 2 husbands.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is going to be absolutely.
And then on Saturday, Dorota's show is back, and
with
Caroline Bennis, who's in the comments, I believe she's on this weekend.
Yes.
Oh,
excellent.
We've got lots coming.
And then Sunday Q&A again.
Yes. Brilliant. Well, guys, that's just about time up for us. From me, thank you all so much for giving me an amazing finish to my birthday. It's been awesome to have you guys on and just talking away the way we do. To everyone that's been watching, everyone that does watch, thank you so much. We always appreciate the support and the love, and I can't think of a better way to have finished off my birthday.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday,
so
yeah, happy birthday. Enjoy.
Happy birthday.
It's almost bedtime. It's almost over for another year. But no, thanks so much, guys. Loved every minute of it. And I will, if I'm not sure if I'll be on Sunday or not, but I'll definitely be back here next week. So
Yep.
bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.